with all of the pictures of all the people that have been slaughtered by that regime. So it's time to be for regime change, and the United States should be on record. Third, the United States has to make it very, very clear that we have to use the ultimate sanctions to stop Iran from becoming a nuclear power. The great fear of the Cold War was that nuclear weapons would fall into the hands of irrational people. We thank God that the United States was led by rational people, that the Soviet Union was led by rational people, and that the Chinese government was led by rational people. They weren't all good people, they weren't all decent people, but they were all rational people. This regime is not rational. What government would fund killing the ambassador of Saudi Arabia in Washington, D.C. in broad daylight, using Mexican drug dealers to do it? Who would do that but an irrational government? A government that is dealing in the level of insanity like the Nazis were dealing in the level of insanity. This cannot be compared to the Cold War. This cannot be compared to the things we've faced in the last 30 or 40 or 50 years, because the level of rationality is not there. That is an insane act. It's the act of a regime that is operating in the level of the irrational. And if they would pay $1 million to kill the Saudi Arabian ambassador in the middle of the capital of the United States, then how easy would it be for them to hand nuclear material off to Mexican drug dealers or Colombian cartel members, or in order to have nuclear attacks in Europe and in the United States, and then deny it was them? Everyone says, well, Iran will be deterred because we can attack Iran if Iran uses nuclear weapons. But Iran will use nuclear weapons and then deny using it. And given the UN and the way this current administration in Washington takes forever to analyze everything, we won't make a conclusion about that until 5 years later. I mean, this attack in Washington should have been responded to already. Should have been responded to already. Imagine coming to the capital of my country and wanting to slaughter in broad daylight the ambassador of one of our allies and allowing that to go unaffected, not responded to. So that has to change. And finally, the United States has to make it absolutely 100% clear that sanctions have to be imposed, and that the sanctions that are imposed have to include penalizing countries that deal with Iran, because dealing with Iran now is just giving them the resources to become a nuclear power. And Iran has to recognize that the United States will take whatever action is necessary to stop them from becoming a nuclear power, including military action. I believe if the United States says that, and I believe if Iran believes that, the chances of taking military action will decrease dramatically. Remember, we won the Cold War, brought down the Soviet Union and the Berlin Wall without firing a shot. But we didn't do that by begging them to negotiate with us. We didn't do that by writing them letters, asking them, please meet with us, please talk to us. You know how we did that? We did that by outspending them on military armaments by 20 to 1. Ronald Reagan was capable of using the massive military advantage that he had against them, either economically or physically. For that reason, as Gorbachev says in his book, the Soviet Union was defeated by America spending them out of existence. It happens from strength. It doesn't happen from pleading and begging, and that's what the United States has to realize now. That's what my country has to realize. If it does, the chances of a military confrontation decrease. If it remains weak, if it remains, as in the case of before World War II, Chamberlain-like, seeking appeasement, seeking to ingratiate, the chances of a military confrontation go up dramatically. But in the meantime, the people of Ashraf cannot be the forgotten group in all of this. These are 3,300 people who have already been through hell. And I would like to make it clear, as I did at the very beginning, as I conclude, that yes, they better act, but they better remember that if they don't act, and some serious harm comes to these people, we will not forget, and we will know who to hold responsible, and we will make that clear all over the world, in every venue possible. And the legacy of these people will become having stood by while atrocities were permitted. And we'll make sure that legacy lives with them because they deserve it. So they better act, and they better act now. And please, once again, to the people of Ashraf who hear this, remember, we're standing with you today, and we're going to stand with you tomorrow, and we're going to stand with you no matter what happens. We're going to be there for you to make sure that you are treated decently. Thank you.